back to the TTL show, where we say Leaders Reborn. On our show today, we want to talk to Wamaitha Charity, who is going to share with us her views on the role of youth, especially women, in fighting for a democratic Kenya. We want to find out her views, how she fights for the youth, her challenges, and what she thinks about the future of the youth in this country. Tracy, karibu sana to our show, the TTL show.
Asante sana, Steven.
So in a nutshell, let us first of all understand who is Charity Wamaitha.
Okay, Charity Wamaitha Gathiani is, is a lady, as you can see, from a small village in Nyeri County, Kieni constituency. It's called Kafaru. I don't know if Steven, you've heard about it. It's a very famous, very famous because of its potatoes and cabbage production. If not, it's very famous. Is that
where
honestly.
we always say 20 liters of water in? Is that where it originated from?
Must okay, I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
But yes, that's where I come from. Away from that, I'm an economist. I pursued a bachelor's in economics and statistics as my undergraduate.
From which university?
From Laikipia University. I'm alumni there.
Wow.
Yes. I am also a writer. I love to write. I'm a content writer. I'm also a news editor for a news website, entertainment website called 411 Kenya News. And I'm also a freelance financial manager for small businesses. Tunawafanyia hesabu wenye hawaweziweza kuandika, you know, the accountants and everything.
But you're forgetting one thing, you're a youth activist.
Yeah. Okay, yes. I try to use my platform, mostly on Facebook, to advocate for the youth and maybe for a democratic Kenya at large, I would say.
Oh, wow. So, on today we want to focus on the role of youth, especially women, in fighting for a democratic country. As a woman and as a lady, as a young youth activist, what do you think are the challenges before we go deep into the discussion that youth are going through?
The challenges for
the youth, that fellow youth are going through, that you have seen that is making them not achieve their democratic role as a country?
Well, Steve, I'll just be straightforward. I think it's easy. Anyone who we have leaders, we have young leaders who are youth, but I think we have a problem as young people. We kind of lack an identity in ourselves. We don't know the value we have. We don't know how much we can amount to as ourselves. And this happens because, you see, I'm a leader and a politician somewhere will be seated scrolling down and you'll see, hey, Wamaitha, this girl, she's an activist, she has a following, people like listening to her, and she's like, okay, I can use this person. So what happens mostly is the person will look for ways, or maybe just inbox directly to maybe through messenger or whatever means, and then, you know, maybe arrange a meetup, and then you'll be told, you know what, we can work together, blah, 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 what, and mostly what happens is, after we've met with the person, what happens is there's this thing of handouts. I don't know if you've had a lot of youth. They keep getting handouts, and when you receive like that 500 shillings, they keep joking about the 527. I'm not sure whether it's really a thing, but okay, they keep, you know, utapewa your 527 or 1,000, and you forget what. I mean, you forget what you were doing. You forget what do I call it? You forget the push, whatever that was pushing you. Now you get into the mind of the politician, like he gets into your mind. Akisema twende hivi, tunaenda hivi. Akisema twende hivi, tunaenda hivi. And I think a lot of young people, really with a lot of potential, are getting lost in that. The fact that just the thing of leaders, you know, getting into your mind and controlling you with just maybe 500 shillings, that is really making a lot of us, you know, it's making us as a youth as a country, you know, lag behind. We would be very far if young people were serious on whatever they were doing. We would be very far as a country right now.
Are youth given opportunities to fight for a democratic country in this Kenya?
Oh, okay, that's an interesting question. Kenya is a funny country, because I would say not only youth, but everyone at large, you know, Kenyans, because but Kenyans at large, I don't think there's enough. We are given the platform there, the chance to really fight for the democracy that is needed in the country, because you'll see, Steve, Kenya, you know, democracy is supposed to be like the rule of the majority. It is where the majority are, the views of the majority are the ones being taken in place, you know, by majority for the majority.
Exactly.
But in Kenya, it is our democracy only happens for, you know, the popular minority few. And so even when the young people are the majority, sometimes they're just not able to pull through with the democracy things, because, you know, you'll air your things, but kukifika kule juu, there are people who already have set things. Now this is going like this because of this reason, and it's unfortunate, I'd say.
Okay. Looking at our neighboring countries like Uganda, then the far end of South Africa, we have seen youths like Malema, we have seen Bobi Wine fighting for democracy without handouts or what, but they fight for their rights. Are Kenyan youths given that opportunity, or do they just like being used? What do you?
I would say, okay, let me base let me talk about Bobi Wine just here in Uganda.
Yes.
It's not about being given an opportunity, because Museveni hajampatia opportunity ya fight for democracy. It is him who decided, you know what, enough is enough.
Yes.
I have to fight for these people. I am here in the present to create the future for my people, for the people, for my children, for the children of my children. He was not given an opportunity. So sometimes I think we as Kenyan youths, tumezoea sana kusema, oh, we are not being given, you know, we don't know, like, what do you have? I think we lack we don't ask ourselves, like, what's my potential? What do I have? Okay, I have this, so how can I use this to fight for this? I think that's what Bobi Wine has used, because he uses his platform. You know, he's an MP, but he doesn't do, because he's an MP under Museveni's government, but he's being in Museveni's government doesn't limit him to fight for what is right. But
Museveni would have bought him easily, and like Kenyan youths who are bought out easily.
Yeah. Museveni would have bought him easily, but you see, that is the problem. I think the issue of handouts, that is where the issue of handouts comes in mostly. I think young leaders I'll call them young leaders in Kenya, I don't know, it's like slavery. I'm not sure. It's a kind of, you know, mind slavery we have in us, but we have few, not all. We have few, I'm sure we have few who are willing to fight for, who are really willing to stand regardless of whatever political whatever the forces they have. They're still willing to fight for the democracy of Kenya.
Now, in 2013, Kenyans voted in young minds. They called themselves youths, and the youth thought they would deliver, especially in advocating for position for the youth, giving youth job. But they have failed, and now most people think that is not the right time to give youths a position. What is your view on that?
2013 or 2017?
2013, we voted in Uhuru and Ruto.
Oh, the duo.
Yes.
Well, okay.
But youths right now feel that the duo has failed, especially in advocating for the rights of youth, position for the youth in this country, youth opportunities. Do you think youth can be entrusted with leadership position, key leadership position in this country?
Yes, absolutely. Youths can be entrusted, regardless of, you know, this one failed, because, you know, just because one potato is bad doesn't mean like all of them are bad. But
they always say one potato spoils the rest of the potatoes.
The rest of the potatoes, yeah. No, that is just an assumption. But I'd say, yeah, youths, we have youths who are capable despite the ones that have failed us. And I'll say, you know, Ruto and Uhuru are not youths. Let me just clarify that they are not young. They are young, but, you know, they are not youths, as according to the Kenyan Constitution.
But they used the perspective.
Young people, because we were used to old people, and yes, to be honest, they have failed us. But I still feel. I feel what failed them is because they got in as okay, the young people they had a dream, they had a vision, and then in the katikati huko, I don't know what happened, and the very time they got someone in between them, and then this one went like this, and then this one went like this, I think that's when the problem came in. Because Steve, if you can look, between 2013 and 2013 is when we had our elections, when we
Yes.
first elected them in, and then between 2017 and 2013 and 2017, sorry, I think we had good progress. They really did a lot.
Give us a little of what they did, because some feel, many have done a number of interviews with youth, and they feel between 2017 and 2018 we are seeing more happening than what happened in 2013, 2017.
Okay,
we are
I
seeing
don't know.
roads, we are seeing the express road, we are seeing the Likoni, we are seeing what, unlike there's nothing countable that we can say this happened between 2013 and 2017. That is the views of many people I've talked to. Yes.
Okay, now this is what I'll say. Most of those projects that are being launched, they have not been launched in their second term. They have not been, they were not birthed during their second term, but they are continuation of, there may be a continuation of whatever they had started at during their first term. If most of them, I don't know, I'm not so sure, but I would say most of them. But if you look at between this period between, yes, we are having them launched, but how many are being birthed? How many have we seen started, like from scratch? How many ideas have been birthed during this second term?
Okay,
Not
I think
many.
we'll have a discussion for that one another day.
Okay.
Now let us focus on women. As a woman, as a young lady who is aspiring for good democracy in Kenya, what role has women played, especially the youth, in advocating for a better country, for a democratic Kenya? Youths and women, I would say it's a good thing that we've continued seeing them. A lot of them continue getting into those government positions and fighting for their positions, and especially women. I can tell you for free that in the next 10 years, Stephen, this Kenya, if we will not have a woman president, then I don't know, because I happened just this week, I happened to be in a conversation with a group of women from African Leadership Network. And I'm telling you, there are women leaders all over Africa, and they were just having discussions on maybe on mentorship, on how to pass the baton, on how they got there. And you could hear most of them talking of how they are willing, to mentor the young leaders, to mentor, to just pull the women from. For the longest time, women have been perceived as wale watu wa kukaa tu nyumbani and everything, but it's really changing, and I can tell you the few women at the top, they are really willing to push, and that's exactly what they are doing to try and fight for the democracy of Kenya, where we all have equal rights, where women can be able to stand up and talk on behalf of their fellow women, to talk on behalf of their children, to talk on behalf of their families, to get into the debate on issues, social issues, political issues, social issues, economic and political issues. We're having more and more women getting into the conversation, and we have seen them. We have women both in the private sector, women in the public sector who are making laws, who are really fighting for to see that we are getting to the Kenya we all vision about. And maybe just giving an example of one young lady, Martha Karua, you can see she really fights for the democracy of Kenya. Like now she's in the campaign of Linda Katiba, because she strongly feels like the people of Kenya, and I know, I don't know how the majority of Kenyans feel, but she does feel that the majority Kenyans don't deserve whatever is happening right now, trying to get another constitution and everything. She's really fighting herself as the Iron Lady she is. She started the campaign of Linda Katiba, and she's among the few women who are. Now I think some are doing a good job, and statistics say that women bloc is the highest that votes during election. Women vote more than men, but I wonder why they don't vote for fellow women, only to come and fight for gender equality. Because we have had so many women standing for women positions in this country, but they fail. Why don't women support their fellow women?
Okay, for one, there's always that thing that says, women are their own enemies, but yes. I wouldn't go so much with that, because I would say it is because of you know, even us, most of the women maybe in the villages and everything, just like the general in the general way that women have been were viewed, that you know, tukichagua mama pale ataenda kufanya hivi, ataenda you know, they are not strong enough, they are not, but it's changing because like maybe in the last election you could tell that we had more women coming out to in the ballot papers, and we'll continue maybe in the 22 elections we'll continue seeing more and more women, and maybe and soon we'll have a lot of, we'll have enough women representation, regardless of them being the majority of the voters. We'll soon they'll reflect. They reflect in the offices too.
As a woman, as a lady, do you advocate for women being given positions for equality, or do you advocate for women fighting for those positions?
I am one who is against the two-third gender rule, because I believe we all have enough potential. We all have, you know, si ati tunakupeleka hapo because you are a woman. Being a woman is not like, it's not supposed to be like a privilege, you know. Let's her put there because she's a woman. Let the people vote for you. Let you be in that office because you can, because you've convinced the people. And I believe the same power, the same energy, the same brain you have, Steven, it's the same that I have. So we have enough chances. So watu wapatane ballot papers and wakimbizane and let the best win. Yeah.
So you are advocating for let people be given position depending on their capability and what they can do for a country.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Be honest with the first lady I've interviewed who has different views as per others, because others feel we're women. Let's be given this position. Let us, yeah.
No, I tend to feel like, yes, I'm a woman, but don't vote me. Don't put me there because I'm a woman, because I'm wearing a skirt, because I'm female. No, put me there because of what I can do, because of what I can deliver.
So, what do you think, in your own views, that women can do to bring, as women, you can come together and bring the issue of a democratic, free Kenya with the powers you have?
The main thing we can do is make sure that we are in the conversation. As the discussions are being tabled, let's make sure that we as women are part of the conversation, we are part of the debate. We have to jolt into action, you know, and ensure that we are pushing. And it's not easy for it as a woman, I'll tell you for sure. It's not a grass ceiling. For us, it's concrete, especially in Kenya. You have to use strength as a woman, because, and I think that's why most of the people tend to say that, you know, women should be given, going back to our point on to that gender role, because sometimes it's not as easy, because the kind of attack I get when I put myself out there, the kind of comments I get, they are very different from the kind you'll be getting. So it's a bit hard for a woman to be putting herself out there, for a woman to be going out there to the people. And sometimes it's very hard, but I think it's time we get into the conversation, it's time we get into the debate, it's time we ensure we are the people, you know, tabling things, we are the people coming up with policies, and that's how we'll achieve a democratic Kenya.
So you feel it's time women came out to speak, they should avoid sitting behind?
Yeah, it's time. Wakati wa kukaa nyuma, I think it's now over. It's us now at the table there. Yeah.
How are we going to involve these women? How are we going to show them that it's their time to speak out and not speak behind the curtains?
There are a lot of ways, and there are a lot of people doing things to ensure that women, especially young women, are given the platform. Because what I understand is, as a young leader, as a young upcoming leader, majority lack the platform or people to hold their hands. You know, you're there, but unashanga now, where do I start? How do I can do this? But you know, maybe you're lacking the platform and everything. But you are seeing people coming, and that's where the issue of even mentorship was coming in. We have, like in the Mount Kenya, we have Mount Kenya young leaders they've been meeting. I think yesterday they had their second meetup where it's a pool of, you know, young leaders where they are meeting and, you know, having discussions and pushing towards the young women of maybe the Mount Kenya region, moving and, you know, just giving them the platform to be able to air their views, and that's how they are able to network and get at the top there, because sometimes it's all about network. Yeah, the people you network with.
As a woman and as a young youth, I believe As per your post, I think you've gone through the BBI report. Is it giving the women the opportunity they need to express themselves?
Okay, what the BBI is doing is maybe just adding, maybe I'd say political positions, the positions for the women, maybe by putting the extra senatorial positions for women and everything. And okay, that is one way. It's one way of making sure we have women there. But and it's a good thing, by the way, I'm not against it, of which, although I'm not for, you know, enlargement of the, what is it called?
The judicial, the parliament.
Yeah, I'm not for it, but I think it's one of the good things to be able to give the women the platform. And away from that, I don't think, you know, I'm not for the document. I don't think there's any other way. I am not sure. I don't know. I don't think there's any other way the BBI is empowering the woman. Okay,
the other day we had Uhuru meeting the youth at Bomas of Kenya. What is your view on the discussions they held? Was it helpful to the youth? Was it bringing anything on the table that youth can sit down and discuss and say, now we had this meeting with the president, this is the way forward? Because I think I saw your post and you were a bit bitter with the representation of the youth that went there to talk. Yeah.
Okay, let me first say that whoever came up with the Kenya, is it Kenya ni Mimi initiative or whatever,
yes.
It was splendid. It was a very good thing, you know, giving the youth a chance to, you know, to just have a conversation with the president. It's not something that happens every day.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I don't know what happened in terms of the youths that went to represent us there, because the kind of conversations we had there, I was expecting that, you know, the youth will be tabling issues like, you know, the issues that are affecting young people, the issues, you know, like you'll be telling the young, you know, like a week before we were told that the university fee was going to be increased. Nobody mentioned that to the president. We were told, okay, earlier on we had been told that okay, you know, there are a lot of things that have been happening. The tax, you know, the tax evasion for 7 years.
For 7 years.
It's in the BBI actually.
Yes.
We were being told that we'll be added a 7 years tax evasion, blah blah blah. But you know, we are not empowered enough to even start that business. How can you be giving me 7 years? We have women, we have many youths who've stayed for all more than 7 years, Steve. Now just kwanza hiyo biashara. So are you telling me that you will give me a 7 years evasion and don't even have the starting capital? Something else, you know, Steve, starting a business in this Kenya is very hectic because nitakuwa na starting capital, but the papers I need, oh my God, the money nitatoa care. You understand? Yes. It's like double or triple the amount, and nobody mentioned that.
So to you think they would have collected views before the meeting, held meetings with youths across the country, collected views and represented the actual views of youths in that meeting? True.
And you know, I mean, I don't know, but I know the people who at Bomas are youth leaders.
Yes.
And I was corrected. I saw a lot of corrections from us who are criticizing the whole thing, saying that there was a limitation of how the questions the president was to be asked. But nobody was told to ask when the president got married, you know, got married. Nobody was told. Nobody was told, even with the limitation.
Really hit
it really hit me, because how do you ask the president such a question? I mean, or maybe ask the question someone else asked when the president bought his first car. For heaven's sake, didn't even buy the first car he was bought. I mean, his father was the president. How do you even ask him that when when a youth somewhere is contemplating suicide, amefika mwisho, you know, how could you even ask that? You're thinking about a car when someone else is
you're thinking about development of the youth.
I mean, Steve, what was that? I don't know. So, but tulikuwa tunaambiwa if you were there, what would you have asked? But I think, or the confidence, you know, some were saying that they didn't have enough confidence. But Steve, even having a pen and a paper, like how we used to do it in school during debates or motivational speakers, watu waandike maswali zao, we'll ask, you know, just that.
But I think, to me, I share your views that they failed because we have youth who have spoken. I remember the day, like when they were launching BBI, we had a youth who was bold and spoke facts. I personally didn't see any facts in that meeting. And such questions, even if I'm the president, I'll ask myself now, What kind of youth are these?
Yeah, I'll also, I wrote that actually because I felt like even the president was like, are these the kind of youth leaders we have? But at least us from Nyeri County, you know, I'm from Nyeri County, had a very good representation by one guy there called Steve Nderi. He really did us proud. He stood out in the whole meeting. At least we can be proud for that. Yeah, so it wasn't at all a fail because we had at least one who represented us, but I would say it was bad. It was an event on national television. You can imagine.
Now, putting that aside, do you think young Kenyan youth and ladies are coming out boldly to speak?
Yes, they are.
How many?
I will not say like how many, but we have few. We have a few are coming, and we are seeing it. You know, as young people, especially now that we have this hit. Right now, Steve, we have two hits. We have the BBI hit, and we have the 22 elections hit. But we are seeing young people who, despite who now understand that kwenye Kenya inaenda hapana. We know we have to stand out right now. We have to fight for our rights. It is us now creating our future. We are seeing a few youths, you know, who are standing out and who are saying, you know, like I'm sure we have a few who are like
we need to do things differently.
Yeah, who are like, yeah, we need to do things differently. It's not, you know, it's not business as usual anymore. Now you have to do something differently.
As a young Kenyan lady with vision and ambitions, what do you stand for a democratic country? In person now, let's not speak about
me, myself, Wamaitha.
Yes, Wamaitha in person. What do you stand for a democratic Kenya moving forward?
For democratic Kenya, me, I stand for the rights. I stand for the constitution. And I think what fails us mostly is we lack to understand the constitution. And that is what has failed us. That is why even us as Kenyans, as young people, we can't even be able to fight for the democracy, for our rights, because hata hatujui constitution inasema nini. Because so me, I really stand for the constitution, and it's something I'm doing. I'll be honest, sikuwa nimesomanga even the 2010 constitution, because even ikitolewa maybe I was 2010 nilikuwa so I didn't get to, but I'm really trying to read it nowadays and understand it, because I feel like the first thing to fighting for democracy, the first thing to getting the Kenya we need is understanding the constitution. Exactly, standing for what I believe is right. Doesn't matter what other people are saying. It doesn't matter what political position, what political stand I am in, or who I am, you know, who I'm supporting on it. But there is what I believe is right, and that is what I'll stand for as a young person and as a young woman.
Are we given mentorship from the onset as youth? Are we given mentorship for a better country, or are we just left to fight kila mtu abebe mzigo wake?
For about mentorship as young people, it's really hard, because you know, hata wale wako kule juu, even the mentorship is not genuine, because they'll be there maybe because they are mentoring you to go to a certain side. They're not mentoring you to be straight. You know, they are mentoring you. It's a problem we have in Kenya. They are mentoring you towards something, towards a certain direction,
or towards achieving their own goals.
Yeah, maybe towards achieving, or towards going to their goal. You know, helping them get to their achieving their goal, because it's rare in Kenya to find someone who is just willing coming there to say, you know, you young people, nimekuja hapa, like I can, you know, you have these ambitions, I can see you have this potential, blah blah blah, so I can help you. It's very rare. Most will come because, oh, this one, I can help him so that he can help me get here. That is how it is. So we have a problem of mentorship in Kenya, especially for young people. So most are on their own.
Are you going to vote for mentorship as a person? Maybe we have already identified there's a problem, and it needs to start from us, from mentorship. What do you think you're going to do? Are you going to start mentorship clubs or something, so that at least 20 years down the line you can say we see the fruits of Wamaitha towards shaping a democratic country? Maybe?
Okay, well, I am to be mentored. So I think, but okay, for correction, there are mentorships that are happening, like the one I had mentioned on the African women leadership, and there's another one for the Mount Kenya leaders. Those are what am I saying? Those are two. Those are two that I'm very sure of that are mentoring, but they are mentoring women. Sometimes I feel for the boy child. Hata kama watu wanasemanga I'm not for the boy child, I sometimes feel for them, because we are really having women being
coming up strong.
Coming up strong, having the support, being pulled, but the boy child is being left to be on their own. And we will realize it when it's too late, because we'll have so many women, we'll have so many empowered women maybe, but they will not have, the boy child will be just down there, which is not okay. Let us, rise together to Toshane. When you scale up together, it will be better.
And it's true, boy child Amaichiliwa, when they started fighting for the girl child,
the boy child was forgotten.
The boy child was forgotten. We see these days the boy child is more affected than the girl child. What do you think can be done, in your own opinion?
I always say this, there's no way a woman can mentor a boy. I can't write a post supporting men. I can, but I can't do it so well because I'm not a man. I don't understand what men are going through. So it's the men who are in leadership, the men who are in those, who are in these positions, able to mentor young people. They are the ones who are failing the boy child. Because I don't know why they are forgetting because the young boys are supposed to look up to them. The youths are supposed to look up to them. So it's up to them to, if it means coming up with organizations to support the boys, let them do that. Because they don't expect, the women will continue supporting their women, because women have been empowered and they are like, okay, I have to pull these ones because this one has to continue. But the man is just at his comfort there, forgetting that there is a boy child that's supposed to be pulled. So it's up to the men.
Now, as we move to winding up, COVID-19 has been an issue and a great impact to young people, mentally, stability, work-wise. What do you think we can come together and do towards averting what we're going through right now with the COVID-19, what we have gone through COVID-19?
First of all, I think it's COVID-19 has really affected a lot of people, as you've said. Many people lost jobs, youth stopped school, there was so many indulgence into alcohol and everything, and it will take time for us to recover as a country and as individuals. And what we can do, me as an individual, is try and support, each other wherever you are. The little you have, let us try be our neighbor's keeper for now, for short term, because sometimes if we wait for, I'm sorry to say this, but if we wait for for maybe the government to to pull us back to where we are, it will take time. So it is upon us, to come together as a people and maybe just support each other and be there for each other and understand that people are really going through a lot of things. So let us be nice to each other. Let us not be, let us not be harsh to each other. Let us understand that we are going through something and it's hard. It has affected a lot of people, emotionally, psychologically, and people will take time to recover. So if you can do something for that neighbor of yours, please just do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my last question is, do you think the Kenyan government has failed in positioning the youth in the right place in this country?
It has. Okay, because we keep seeing, the president maybe putting, even in positions that are meant for young people, him putting old people, and they keep saying that there are no young people who have proven themselves or they enough to be in those positions, which is a lie, because I'm sure we have very many young people, even in the private sector, who can be pulled into the government because they are doing so well. We really have a lot. So the government sometimes, lacks confidence in the young people, which is a very bad thing, because if we don't get into the government right now, when you have them to mentor us and to show us, then I don't know, we'll get there alone, and sometimes before we figure it out, it might not be so good, it might not end so well. So the government sometimes, it really hasn't given the youth enough chances and opportunities as required. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was a very good conversation. At least I have had the time now to talk to you one-on-one, to share your views, to see your position as a youth and what you want for this country.
Okay.
Now I want you to look at this camera and now tell the Kenyan youths what you feel from your heart, what they should do to fight for a democratic Kenya, to make a better country for themselves.
Okay. For us to have a democratic Kenya, it is upon us, young people, to get into action It is upon us young people to ensure we are in the conversation, we are in the debate. It is us to air our views as people with the, with the young democratic minds. We are the people to fight for the Kenya that we keep visioning about. All we have to do is remember that we are here to create, we are representation of the current and creating the future. And all we need is courage. When you have the courage, then it's all you need to fight for the democracy we need. And I'm looking forward to a democratic Kenya. I'm looking forward to a country that, is giving the young people the enough opportunities. I'm looking forward to a Kenya that respects the rights of its citizens. I'm looking Kenya to a beautiful Kenya. Good. To a beautiful country. Okay, what am I saying? I'm sorry.
So thank you so much, Charity. Charity finishes with a strong word, that courage. Courage is what Kenyan youth need to focus on creating a better country, to focus on creating a better place for themselves, and to focus on ensuring that we fight for a democratic country. It is time that you as a youth come out, speak, talk, stop hiding behind the curtains, because they say we are leaders of tomorrow. I don't think we are leaders of tomorrow. We are leaders of today, and we must start showing our visions for this country right now. Let's not wait for tomorrow. This was the TTL show on Sauti Kweli Media. Keep watching, keep subscribing, keep sharing your views, and let us grow together in ensuring that we stand up for the rights of Kenya. And I have been your host, Stephen Malala. Till next time, see you. God bless.